The police officer is also charged with enterprise corruption, sex trafficking, and promoting prostitution in the third degree. Official misconduct.
This is a law enforcement officer and a school teacher, both public servants, extorting women for their own financial gain. It's absolutely disgusting. Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be covering a police officer and school teacher who were running a sex trafficking operation right here in my home county. Let's get into it.
We're here to announce the indictment of Sergio Tramigliosi, Ari, and Cargiulo. I want to just start by saying the overwhelming majority of public servants, and by that I mean especially police officers and our teachers, are dedicated and hardworking.
I wouldn't say that the overwhelming majority of police officers are dedicated and hardworking. I have covered many police officers across this country who have engaged in corrupt and tyrannical behavior, and we've all seen it, not just on my platforms, but on platforms across social media. And
that is why the prosecution of public corruption is a priority. That's what we do as public corruption prosecutors. We ensure that our public servants are serving the interests of the public and not themselves committing crimes. And that's what this case is about. We're here to announce the indictment of 4 defendants for their participation in a criminal enterprise that profited from the unlawful promotion of prostitution in Suffolk County. The charged defendants are Frank Saggio, who's the alleged head of the enterprise, George Tramigliosi, who's a former Suffolk County police officer, Stephen Ari, who's an Islip school teacher, and Dana Cargiulo, who allegedly managed one of the prostitution locations. This case was a 3-year investigation by my office, and we received assistance from.
We need you to investigate Patrick Psycho Ryder, the Nassau County Police Commissioner. Thanks.
The Suffolk County Police Department, specifically their Internal Affairs Bureau, as well as the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. It was a comprehensive investigation that employed electronic evidence collection, undercover police investigation, years of surveillance, and interviews of numerous witnesses, which culminated in the long-term presentation to an investigative special grand jury. The result of that investigation and that grand jury presentment was the 58-count indictment, which charged these 4 defendants with a number of serious crimes, which includes enterprise corruption, sex trafficking, and promoting prostitution in the third degree. The police officer, Tramigliosi, is also charged with crimes related to official misconduct, which we will discuss.
Official misconduct. That is the same charge that was levied against Police Commissioner Patrick Psycho Ryder, Nassau County. I wonder what the corruption division of Nassau County is doing, since they're not doing anything about our complaints and about the blatant tyranny we're seeing in Nassau County.
Speaking of that indictment, the indictment charges a criminal enterprise that operated for approximately 5 years, from 2019 to 2024. And it is alleged that that enterprise unlawfully profited from prostitution that was being conducted at 2 locations in Suffolk County. The first location was at 66089 Sunrise Highway in Holbrook, and if you see the board, it's the second board from my left. And that location, if you look at it, it looks like it's 3 separate storefront. It's actually one building which has internal connections. And it was subdivided into 3 suites, each of which housed an alleged sex worker. And each suite had a manager who had to pay up to Saggio, who was the alleged head of the enterprise. The second location is Tunnel of Love, which is to my immediate left, and that's in Gleam Street in West Babylon. And that was ostensibly an adult toy store, which was a front. And it allegedly served as a prostitution business. And again, the Tunnel of Love had the same structure as the Sunrise Highway location in Holbrook. The managers paid up to Saggio. Sex workers were required to collect house fees in cash from customers. House fees went to the managers and to Saggio. and sex workers were not paid per se, except for what they refer to as tips from customers, and each particular act would result in a specific tip that was paid to the workers. And the workers would, in return for being able to conduct business at the locations, they would have to pay up to Saggio and the managers. A search warrant was executed at Saggio's residence in West Islip in June of 2024. That search warrant resulted in the seizure of $104,225 in cash, which was hidden throughout the house. With regard to sex trafficking, it is alleged that Saggio had some sex workers sign agreements he euphemistically termed leases, which required them to pay a certain amount of money each month for suites. There was $6,000 a month charge at the Holbrook Sunrise location and $12,000 a month charge at the Tunnel of Love in Babylon. And these euphemistic terms such as leases, rents, towel fees, really all they were terms to hide what the proceeds were. All proceeds were derived from prostitution and prostitution acts.
I just want to say one thing. I am big on freedom. I do not believe that the government should be getting involved in people's personal lives and personal choices. But this is a law enforcement officer and a school teacher, both public servants, extorting women for their own financial gain. It's absolutely disgusting.
Some of these sex workers spoke limited English and could not read in English, but nonetheless, Saggio required them to sign agreements with him written in English. In intercepted communications, Saggio and his girlfriend, co-defendant Dana Cargiulo, discussed how many specific acts of prostitution the sex workers needed to perform each day in order to meet their monetary requirements to stay at the location. So in other words, although it was called towel fees or rent or leases or whatever, on the phone they're talking about specific sex acts which would result in specific sums of money being paid. So we allege it's quite clear that all of the proceeds that came from this activity was from prostitution, and that was a knowing business being conducted at both sites. Gargiulo was charged with managing the Tunnel of Love location from September of 2023 through June of 2024. With regard to the public servants, George Tremigliosi has been a Suffolk County police officer, or had been a Suffolk County police officer, since September of 2006. He is charged with serving as manager of the Holbrook Sunrise Highway location from October of 2019 through March of 2021. Tremigliosi was suspended without pay.
I just want to say it absolutely blows my mind that a police officer for over 17 years here in Suffolk County, being highly paid, decides to become a manager of this sex trafficking operation. I want to say I'm surprised, but at the same time, we see things like this all the time in law enforcement and with our public servants. And it's really unfortunate.
From the Suffolk County Police Department in August of 2024 for conduct unrelated to the conduct charged in this indictment.
So he was fired or suspended by the Suffolk County Police Department without pay for conduct unrelated to this indictment. So what was that conduct? I hope he's going to tell us.
Stephen Ari is an Islip High School teacher since 1998, and he's charged with co-managing the Sunrise Highway location with Tremigliosi. The turning point in this case came in March 19th of 2021, which was a robbery investigation of the Holbrook Sunrise Highway location. At that point, a customer had gotten robbed. Tremigliosi was on duty that night in the 3rd Precinct in Islip Terrace. A sex worker called him about the robbery, and based on GPS data provided to us by the Suffolk County Police Department for his patrol car, we know what happened next. Tremigliosi allegedly abandoned his post without notifying the Suffolk County Police Department and sped at speeds at almost 90 miles an hour to the prostitution business. So he traveled 6 miles outside his precinct.
He traveled at 90 miles an hour. He could have killed somebody, hurt somebody. He didn't care. He was trying to protect his sex trafficking operation.
Into the adjoining 5th Precinct area without permission and he never obviously documented these actions, which is a basis for some of the charges of the indictment. And if you look at the third, you see that is the GPS data from his car that night, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So just to be clear, it is alleged that Tramigliosi left his area of responsibility and without notifying anyone else in the police department, certainly without consent, he drove his marked police car at high rates of speed into an entirely different precinct because there had been a robbery at the prostitution business which he managed.
So I want to ask everybody, do we all really think that it was just one rogue officer engaging in this criminal behavior, managing a sex trafficking operation? How did no one else know about this? It just seems a little suspect to me that no one else would have known about this going on and participated in it. So it's just weird, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
Then he falsified official police paperwork by failing to report that he had left his precinct and for the purpose behind leaving his precinct. And of course, it's alleged he couldn't report this because the Suffolk County Police Department was unaware that he allegedly had a side job managing a prostitution business.
Again, not too sure about that one.
Based on this, in addition, Tramigliosi is charged with crimes related to his alleged misconduct while on duty, including falsifying business records in the first degree, offering a false instrument for filing in the first degree, and official misconduct.
Sounds like Patrick Psycho Ryder at the Nassau County Police Department.
I'll just so we could clarify this. So what we see here, this is the GPS from his squad car on the night of the robbery. And if you look, this is him and the various times which he was patrolling his sector. And then when the robbery came, he went to the site, the Holbrook site of the prostitution business, remained there for a period of time, and then traveled back to his sector. And then these other areas are areas of interest. At 3:12 a.m., he receives a call from the brothel's house phone. And then at that time, the sector car was located at the Islip Fire Station. And then at 3:37, his sector car leaves the location, traveling at 53 miles per hour. At 3:42, he's in that same sector car. He's now traveling 88 miles an hour, and he's speeding towards the location of the brothel.
How dumb do you have to be? This is why I say law enforcement standards are extremely low. This former officer took his patrol vehicle, which he knows that it has a GPS monitor on it, and they could see everything he's doing. Look, they mapped out his entire trip to his sex trafficking operation. It's insane.
He arrives at 3:46 a.m., and he's at the brothel, again, in the 5th precinct, even though he's assigned to the 3rd precinct, where he remains for 36 minutes. And then at 4:21 a.m., he leaves the brothel. The final visual aid we have here is this is Tramigliosi's phone, and it's in a number of the workers as indicating that it is George and he's the boss. And then the phone at the Holbrook prostitution location, there was a house phone in which the business of the brothel was conducted. That phone number was registered with the phone company in Tramigliosi's government name. So that is the case. These are just allegations, and we look forward to proving this case at trial. But if there's one message, it is that no one is above the law, and this indictment illustrates that point. Public servants committing crimes are a violation of the public trust, and that will not be tolerated. My office and my investigators, in partnership with the Suffolk County Police Department and all of our law enforcement officers, will continue to investigate these cases, and we will hold public officials to account who violate the public trust. And I think one thing that public officials need to know, that in Suffolk County, we're watching. The district attorney's office is watching, and our law enforcement partners are watching. But perhaps just as importantly, so is everyone else. So are their coworkers, so are their colleagues, and so are members of the public. And when we received a credible allegation of public official misconduct, we will investigate it to its fullest. So my advice is do not do it.
So I would agree, do not do it. But where was this district attorney? He's supposed to be serving me. I am a resident of Suffolk County. Where was he when two masked men came to my home here in Suffolk County to intimidate my family and pick me up on a bogus warrant? Where was he? Where was he protecting my rights? I thought he was watching. We're watching, right? Was he watching when a sergeant of the Suffolk County Police Department pulled me over unlawfully and retaliated against me and gave me 4 unlawful tint tickets because he didn't like that I was recording him? First Amendment retaliation. There is so much corruption, so much tyranny that is going on in Suffolk County. I get reached out to by a lot of different people here in Suffolk County who tell me they've been disrespected by the police, they've been unlawfully arrested, and I will be covering every single one of those. But where is this district attorney? Is he really watching? Because hundreds of thousands of people saw those masked men come to my home. I know that they're Nassau County officers, but they were operating here. They crossed jurisdictions. They drove over an hour away from Nassau County to my home on a bogus warrant that was deemed facially insufficient by a Nassau County court, with masks coming to my home, and then tried to hide from my security cameras. Where was this man then? Where was this district attorney in the corruption division? What about a sergeant who blatantly retaliates? It's just ridiculous. There's so much going on here, but yet this is the only thing that he's picking up. You know, this is the only thing he was working on in 3 years that I can tell. I can't find any more press conferences like this from the Suffolk County District Attorney. So again, the overwhelming majority of public servants are, you know, the best people in the world. They're heroes. They're just not. They're just not. They're regular people, just like you and me. The difference is that they have immense power that was given to them by we the people. They're not honoring their oath that they took to uphold the United States Constitution and our constitutional rights. They're just not. Now, can I say every single law enforcement officer here in the Suffolk County area is corrupt? I guess it depends on how you look at it, because are you corrupt when you see corruption and look the other way? When you see people making 6 figures, collecting all this overtime, unlawfully retaliating against residents, abusing your authority? That is something that needs to be looked into and addressed. I've went to the Suffolk County legislature, and my own legislator turned away from me and walked out on me because he's backed by the Suffolk County Police Union. Again, I personally do not care what 2 consenting adults engage in. It's not my business. It's not the government's business. I believe in freedom, but this is not freedom. This is extortion. This is manipulation, all for public servants to enrich themselves. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section below. I just had to highlight this story. I came across it and it was absolutely shocking to me. You know, I'm starting to get a little desensitized to these kinds of stories because we see them all over the country. But this one was right here in my backyard. So I wanted to highlight it and bring it all to you. Again, your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.